y'all, it's Heather, and I'm so excited because today we're going to be going through all of my face palettes. I've pulled them all out of my collection. It's just going to be a good time gushing over makeup. I want to show you some of the really old stuff I have, some of the new stuff I have. It's going to be so fun. We're just going to play in makeup. Let's jump into it. All right, we are going to jump into my face palette collection. We're going to go through these by brand. I'm going to group the brands together, but that's really the only order we have, okay? Like, we're just gonna start with what's in front of me, and that is the Denona Myricks Lightwork palette. This is Blooming Romance, and this is a kind of all-in-one palette. So this palette is meant to be used on like eyes, lips, cheeks, brows, whatever. Denona says you can use it for whatever. And I kind of have this in this video rather than eyeshadows because I do think that it's more multi-purpose. I have used this on my lips and my cheeks. I do have a video featuring this. So, I mean, most of these things have appeared in videos. Some of these are super old though, but I keep them for nostalgic reasons. This is new to me though for 2024, and I'm excited. I'm hopeful that she's gonna do like a really warm golden toned one for this year. But this is a really cool palette, very innovative from Denona. I know she has a more neutral, just kind of straight up brown version too that maybe I should pick up next time she has a sale. Let's look at, what do we have here? Let's do these two Smashbox palettes. These are so cute. I will say I would love it so much more if I could kind of like customize my own palette and like do what shades I want in it. But I think the quality of the shadows, or not the shadows, the quality of the face shades in here is gorgeous. I just hate there's nothing you can do to make that mirror stand up. And I know that seems like a small thing, but it's kind of irritating when you're getting ready and you're trying to dip into multiple pans. So I do have, this one is the like medium version, I think, and this is like the tan version. I know there's four. There's one lighter than this and one deeper than this. So this one right here, let me tell you, this is the name Pink Saturation. So we have the shades Rose Quartz, Hope Pink, Peach Serene, and Designer. So that's this one right here, really beautiful. The bronzer shade is too light for me. Jumping over here, this one is my favorite one. I have the shades Scenic Route, Till Sunrise, Vacay Mode, and Prosecco Pop, because that is one of the Becca highlighters, which I do have some Becca. I have a Becca palette that we're going to talk about later, but Prosecco Pop is like an icon, right? Aren't those so pretty? Just this packaging fail. I've got a couple of Salt New York palettes here, and I actually have some new shades that just arrived they sent me. So in this palette, I have my blushes and my highlighters. Salt New York is an independently owned brand. I do have a affiliated discount code with them, so you can save some money on their site. I will pop up any codes I have. I'll pop them up on the screen, and I'll do my best to link everything I can in the description box. I don't know that the description box will hold it all, so I will absolutely do my best. Ask me a question in the comments if there's anything like that I just didn't explain well enough or wasn't able to link. But these are the new shades. I'm so excited. These are the Mood Lighting shades, and I thought we would just swatch them together. When they came in the mail, I was like, wait, Heather, let's do these together because I really want to swatch. And then I do have another one of these that has the foundation, like the skin tint. I say foundation, but it's really more of a skin tint, and the concealer too, but I didn't pull that out because that's foundation and concealer. I didn't know that it really fit with face palettes, you know? So let's swatch these new shades first because I'm really excited to swatch these. So these are the Mood Lighting Lip and Cheek Tints. These come in light, medium, and deep, I believe. Let me see. These are just magnetic pans. You can put them in whatever you want. Salt New York also has like individual compacts rather than the quad. But yeah, this is deep. Look how pretty that is. Look how beautiful. I want to get a good swatch. Okay, there we go. I tried to adjust a little bit so that you could see maybe like my angle better, but light, medium, deep. These are beautiful. I'll probably use light as more of like a highlighter on myself. And then over here, I have my blushes. Well, they're actually like cheek and lip tints. And then this is a radiance, so like a cream highlighter. I love these from Salt New York. This is my favorite shade right here. This is called Persimmon. I love persimmon, first of all, but I really love this kind of orangey shade. Like, look how beautiful that is. Whereas these are more like a blush highlighter hybrid type of product. This is like a straight up lip and cheek tint. Let's just go ahead and we'll swatch all the shades. This is Sunburnt. Beautiful. This is the shade Rose. I'll put that here. Am I getting out of frame? And then this I love. This is their highlighter. I think it's called Radiant. And I have the shade Beige, which is like the name sounds so boring for how beautiful it is. It's really like something that sinks into the skin and just looks so glowy and gorgeous and makes me look so ethereal, and I love it. And I really want to get more of their Radiant cheek products because I would like to have a couple of their shades. I would really, really love to see Salt New York do this formula and maybe some kind of like fun alternative shades, like maybe a pinky red that has like a pink to a red shift, maybe like duochrome-esque type highlighters, maybe like a yellow to an orange, or even like a yellow to a green could be really fun, like a purple to a blue. I would totally be about that too. But anyways, beautiful Salt New York. I keep these with my face palettes and I love, 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 love. This is a face palette from Flower Nose. This is the Butterfly Cloud Color Collection in the shade Tawny Tea. I know they make a palette deeper than this, and I wish I had that one. They did send this to me. It's so beautiful. I have not used it yet. I already know, like, these two shades, they're not going to work for me on my face, but I hope that you can see that beautiful, beautiful embossing. Like, maybe I can zoom in a little bit more so that you can see, but the embossing is so, so good. And I've really loved like the highlighters and the blushes specifically from this brand. I'll go ahead and swatch these shades because I haven't swatched them yet. So why not? Like, we're here, right? So I'll put that there. Yeah, like that's going to be way too light and way too cool toned for my face. I have an olive undertone that's warm leaning, and these shades just, they never look like shadow on me like they're supposed to. But I think that these shades will be really pretty. Like that, it looks kind of intense, right? But if you take a fluffy brush and diffuse a powder like that underneath the eye, it can give really, really beautiful brightness. And then this looks really pretty too. So let's swatch this. Oh, that's pretty. That's kind of icy, but I'm into it. I think that could be really great. I know I really like this brand's highlighters, so I'm going to try this. And, you know, I'm just going to not worry about these two shades. Maybe use them on the eyes or something like that if needed. But these two shades, I think that I will really enjoy. Did I just stick my finger in that? Like, my fingernail gouged it. How dare I? These beautiful butterflies. This is a Ben Nye face palette. This is the Studio Color Powder in Mojave. So this is for a lot of like olive skin tones, tan, medium, olive skin tones. I love this palette. Like, I don't know if you can see how much use this palette gets. It's not like a glamorous product, but it's a product that I love because there are some olive shades in here, like this one, that I can use kind of under my eyes if my concealer is like a little too light for me. I can kind of use this to brush a little bit and bring it more to that like olivey tone and not have things quite as bright. Or if a concealer is too dark, I can use it to brighten. This shade here I can kind of use to kind of like buff in all over my face. This shade as well, really great for that. And then these can work as like bronzers if I want to, but usually I use this as like a face powder palette to correct things, set things, stuff like that. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I can also kind of pop this out and move the pans around if I want to, kind of custom make things. I don't know. It's a really, really solid palette. I also have this palette from Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Dream Team Face palette. And one thing about Physicians Formula is I wish that they offered more in terms of shade range, going from light to dark. I feel like that's been something we've been begging Physicians Formula for so long. But with this palette, I do appreciate that they gave us some options in terms of like a deeper blush, a deeper highlighter shade. It says vacay mode on the inside, and we have their more like glowy butter bronzer and their matte butter bronzer. This is really pretty under the eyes too. I've used it a few times. It's not really mattifying. It's more of like a satin type finish, but I do appreciate seeing kind of the deeper blush and highlight. Hopefully that means we will get some deeper bronzers in the future from Physicians Formula, but you can tell like I enjoy this palette. I do reach for it. I got it not too long ago, actually. I got this at Creators and Friends in September, and I've been surprised at how much I have reached for this one. I think it's a really beautiful palette. I know it's sold out in several places, so a lot of people are loving this one. I've got a couple of old, like limited edition, no longer available things that maybe could be fun we could look at. This is the Mother of Dragons highlighter palette from Game of Thrones. Oh, I love that Urban Decay collabed with Game of Thrones. Listen, that is my hope for 2025, is that Urban Decay will do more fun collabs. I love when they collabed and did like Alice Through the Looking Glass. I love it. I love it. What a time to be alive when Urban Decay was doing these fun things. And these were actually really beautiful, beautiful highlighters. Like, stunning. Okay, this is, Handbook for the Recently Deceased, of course, from Beetlejuice, but this was a collaboration with Makeup Revolution, right? Revolution, yes. Revolution, Makeup Revolution, Revolution Beauty, whatever, one of their brands, okay? I bought this one at Walmart, actually, in store, and these are really pretty. Like, they're not available anymore, so, like, why am I going to, like, tempt you with swatches? But if you have this, pull it out and use it, because these are beautiful, warm, peachy highlighters. I think they're so good. I really, 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 really like this, and I love this. I actually have it like displayed in my room, and yes, I am going to film a room tour collection storage type video. It is on my list. I am doing it in January. I am doing it in January. You hear me say it. I'm going to do it. Thank you for everybody who's asked me to do that and has kept pressuring me, because it will be coming before February 1st. Let's look at all of my Blend Bunny face palettes. This collection has definitely grown this year. We've added three of these new this year, and I'm not sure what all is still available. I know Blend Bunny has been discontinuing some things, moving new things in, moving some things out, having some sales, and I'm excited for what the brand is going to bring us in 2025. Blend Bunny is one of my favorite brands. So let's look at Forget Me Not. So this is an eye and face palette. I put this with my face palettes, actually, because I just wasn't reaching for it enough on my eyes, and I'm liking it a lot more with my face palette. Now, these shades over here are all way too cool toned for me for my face, but what I really use the most of is Brighter Days. Again, like I was talking about earlier, just adding like that bit of really bright right to the inner corner on some days for some looks. Like, I don't know, it's working for me. And then these highlighters are super duper beautiful. I don't know if this is available anymore, so maybe I should not go on and on and on about it. I do like how they made it like open like a book too. I know Blend Bunny, and they released this, they were saying like their thought process was kind of bridal inspired, so it's cute. Let's look at the Bare Cheeks and the Juicy Cheeks face palettes. Will these both fit in the frame? Because these are so good and underrated, honestly. The Juicy Cheeks face palette is exactly what it says. It has these kind of unconventional blush shades, and this is really for like fun and creativity. If you have this, or if you want to pick it up, don't be scared. Like, don't be scared. It's fun, okay? So like mix your shades together. I love a yellow and an orange blush. Like, they had me with that one right there. But mixing the yellow and the oranges with the pinks and the reds and pulling in the purples to kind of cool down these shades, like, you can do what you want to do. It's really, really fun, and the formulas in here are great. I mean, a little bit goes a long way. Like, a tiny, tiny touch will give you exactly what you need because they're pigmented, but also like easy to blend. The Bare Cheeks palette, I know so many people love this, and for good reason. Again, you can mix these, okay? So when you're looking at these, you may be thinking, well, these shades are too light for me, or these shades are too deep for me, but really, it's for mixing and playing and having fun and experimenting. And I love that we have these brown blushes in here. Honestly, like I love, love, love that. Let's look at this one. So this is the Simply Put, is it called a highlighter quad? So this is a collaboration palette with Donna Darkois. Sorry if I say that wrong. I've been following the creator for so many years, but I don't always know how to pronounce people's names if they don't say it all the time. So this is gorgeous. This is sparkly, wet skin. The skin of a killer. I love this. I think this is so, so beautiful. I love that Blend Bunny collabs with different creators and lets the creator do what they want in their collaboration. I think that's special. I have the Ellis Atlantis palettes. Yes, Ellis Atlantis. So we have Solar Flare. This one, of course, has the sun on it. And then we have, what is this one called? Lunar Eclipse. So it has the moon on it. And then opening, oh, do you see? So for Solar, we have the fiery shades. For Lunar, we have the cool tones. And I love this one. I really do. I think it's so beautiful. I think the like red orange, it just, it does something to me. The true orange, and then that kind of like peachy salmony color. Blend Bunny, what are you doing? Don't play with me. You got me good with this one. It's so good. This is really beautiful too. I think it was really smart to do like a cool tone pink palette because even though that has been a trend for a long time, I feel like it was popular, and then like it never really went away. Like people just like, they always love pink blush, and it's really, really beautiful in the cheeks too. I love contrasting the warmth in my skin with cool blushes. I think it can be fun. This is the Noctilucent highlighter palette. This, I can't remember if this was like the first cheek products I tried from Blend Bunny or if they launched their blushes first. I don't guess it really matters, but I like to think about it as we're going through my collection. It's always fun. This is another product that's seriously underrated from Blend Bunny. This is an intense highlighter palette. This is not for the lit from within glow, in my opinion. I think this is absolutely stunning. I love the shade Dreamlike. I think that's really, really beautiful. All of these are stunning. They have different shifts to them. I'm trying to kind of move it around and like show you in the mirror and stuff, but these look wet and sparkly on the cheeks. They're intense and stunning and just gorgeous. What more can I say? Let's look at my face palettes from Vive. I really think Vive makes beautiful cheek products. This is the Twilight Dimension face palette, and if you ever have thought about trying Vive blushes, they're beautiful. Like they're really, really beautiful. This is the brand founded by Jamie Genevieve here on YouTube. Really beautiful, talented, creative artist. Like I watched her channel for so many years, and I think she makes really, really great makeup. These shades are beautiful. Highlighter, beautiful. This, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a bronzer. I use it as a blush for my skin tone because it's kind of got that more like warmth red type undertone. No, they're all blushes. Okay, that's right. I do have singles from the brand too, but this video is not about singles, so we're not going to talk about this. This is the Dusk face palette. So this one I think was the first one I tried from the brand. This one does have a bronzer. It works for me when I'm at my lightest, kind of like now. It has a beautiful highlighter, beautiful blushes. I love this blush shade right here, but if you're not interested in the face palettes, like their single blushes and bronzer, like stunning, 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 absolutely stunning. Let's look at this palette right here. Don't ever play with me when it comes to fluorescence embossing. This is so stunning, right? So stunning. Now this shade down here is not a great shade for me. It's again very cool toned. Well, why did I swatch it and you can't even see? swatch it over here. It's very cool toned, which does not work for my olive warm skin, but this, like, it's so pretty. I'm like running out of space. I need to go wash my hands, but I can't help myself and play makeup. The blush is beautiful. Like, this is a kind of brightening powder. Y'all, like, look at that. It's so stunning. Let's look at these from Kaleidos. This is a brand that has not done something in a while, and they really need to. They have these face trios, and very cool toned. Very, 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 very cool toned. This is much better for me, this shade right here. Still not this shade. I do like these brightening under eye powders though, and I actually panned a single that I had of their under eye powders. So this one was medium, that lighter one, and then this shade was tan. I've got two Super Shock quads here from ColourPop. These are pretty old. Yeah, this is the Super Shock highlighter Might as Shell. Yeah, these launched in like a limited edition summer collection. So really pretty, very light, very ethereal. I love the Super Shock formula though. I mean, Super Shocks ColourPop always has. They usually bring them out in limited edition collections, and they have a permanent range, but they don't really do these quads, and I wish they would do them more, but I know like not everybody loves a face palette. This is definitely the more colorful, deeper version. Really, really fun. I like that they gave us a light and a dark version. This one was called Shell, yeah. This is the Pixie Hello Kitty palette. This one, honestly, I need to use this again because I bought it, I used it a few times, and I was a little underwhelmed, honestly. It's the Chrome Glow palette, Charming Glow, but I have been way more into like blush toppers lately, and these were, I don't know. I need to use it again because I remember not loving it, but I don't remember like exactly why I didn't love it. I know it has some different formulas. Like that was a formula that I liked more. It was a little more intense. So instead of like cleaning up after this video, I'm actually gonna make sure I just leave this out on my makeup desk so I can remember to use this one. This is the Scott Barnes bronzer palette. Is that what it's called? Contour palette. Contour palette. I don't know what's going on with Scott Barnes makeup brand. Let me know if you have any insight, because I would love to hear, because this was sold out for so long, and then it would come back in stock, go out of stock. Like, people were loving the brand, and then we just never really got a restock of this. I don't know if this is coming back or what, but what really sold me are these two shades right here. These two shades right here. Sliced is this yellowy golden, and then Snatched is straight up like green olive. It's a little more on the cool side, so I mix it with this, but it's kind of yeah, it's a little more cool leaning olive, but I do mix these shades together. This shade could be a blush on me, okay? But I thought this was really pretty, and I know it's more for like an artist perspective, and this one, I can't remember if there were multiple shades of this, because this is like, for me, at my lightest. But the cool tone shades I can't really use. I really wish they would launch singles, but I don't know what is happening with the brand. Let me know. Do you know? Tell me. I've got a couple of palettes here from Mary Leah Scott Cosmetics. Yes, I'm like, let me double check. I bought these a long time ago, and then they were out of stock for a while, and she brought them back. So this is Your Highlight is Too Bright. I thought that was such a cute name. And there's two palettes. So we have this one right here. I think this one is called the Pastels. And then we have the Neutrals one right here. These are really pretty face palettes. I tried these. It was a new to me indie brand. I think these are super pretty. Super happy to have these in my collection. And yeah, she did restock these, so I will link those down below. Then I have this face palette from Melt. This is from their Mariposas collection, which they launched not last year, I mean several years ago now, like 3 years ago maybe, but this is a great blush palette, and I think it may still be available. I'm not exactly sure, but if I can find a link to it, I will definitely link it down below, of course. But we have really, really beautiful highlighters and blushes in here. I say highlighters because they're very like glowy, not really sparkly, but I guess they would be more glowy blushes, or maybe even like blush toppers. I don't know, I say highlighters, but blush toppers is probably a better description. Super duper cute. This is the only face palette I have from Simply Posh. I really love the eyeshadow palette that came with this one from Simply Posh, and I really love that they launched a cheek palette. I hope that they play more with some face products because it's fun to see something that's not just eyeshadow palettes. So they gave us 4 highlighters up top, 4 blushes down bottom, really, really pretty. And then this palette is pretty new to my collection. This is the Moonchild Duochrome Highlighter Palette that can also be used on the eyes from Jolie Beauty. It says it's not just a phase. I think that's so cute, like with the phases of the moon. And I love the holographic. Jolie Beauty is a UK-based indie brand, if I remember correctly. And I've been buying from them for years. So I was super excited that they sent me this palette this year. And I do have a reel up on Instagram and a TikTok using this palette. I can't remember if I uploaded it as a YouTube Shorts. I need to check on that actually, but it's really, really cool. I like the whole theming and design of it. I've got some palettes here from ABH, so we'll just go through these one by one. ABH was on a kick for a while where they were releasing tons of these glow kits, and I obviously loved it because I think I have all of them. I couldn't help myself. I kept buying them. So this is the Sun Dipped kit. This one I believe is permanent to the line. Like I think they still have this one around. Really beautiful highlighter formula. Here, let me actually show you a swatch because I did wash my hands and I tried to adjust things so that I could show you swatches a little bit better. So bronze, like look at how smooth that is. I really like Moonstone too. That one's super duper pretty. So really, really nice shiny formula. This is the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. This one like launched and it sold out so fast. And then like years later, they brought it back. And it was like a random drop of like, hey, we have this back, and then it was gone again. And it's beautiful. Like this one could absolutely be permanent to the line, although collaborations are typically not permanent products. They're typically limited edition because of the creator and the brand and all of that. But wow, this one definitely one of my favorites out of all of them. This one is Gleam. This one, I don't think this is a permanent one. I think this was one of the first ones they launched. Hard Candy, Mimosa, Starburst, Crushed Pearl. We have, let me look at the square ones. So I'm trying to remember which ones are permanent and which ones are not. That Glow, I don't think this one is permanent either. I think this was one of the limited edition ones. Really beautiful. Now, it's either Sugar or Sweets that's permanent. Whichever one. I'll link down below if I can find a link. But Sugar, isn't that pretty? Oh, it's so pretty. These shades, definitely gorgeous. I want to say maybe this is the one that's permanent and Sweets is the one that's not, because this one had like the purpley color, which I feel like most people probably prefer the other, because I love a colorful highlight. But isn't that pretty? Oh, these are just so pretty. And the removable pans and all of that. And then this glow kit right here, this lettering like glows in the dark. And this one did not get a lot of love. I want to say a lot of people really did not like this one. I clearly enjoyed mine. It's hard with these reflective backgrounds to really show you and not like have things go blurry and just have the light. But this one was more on the sparkle heavy side as opposed to like the smoothness that we had here. And I don't know, I think that can be fun sometimes. So we have Moonchild and Aurora. Moonchild launched first, and this, it just fun in a palette, okay? Fun in a palette, something so cool from mainstream brands. And then Aurora launched, and this was like the deeper version. of Moonchild. They both worked really well for me. Like, I enjoy and got a lot of use out of both of these, but I really appreciated the fact that ABH like had a lighter and a deeper version. You know, I mean, I think they both work on all skin tones, but just something I enjoy. This is the Drain palette. This is another one that I don't think got a ton of love. This is colorful like Aurora and like Moonstruck, but this one is more on the sparkle side. So you do get that more like visible sparkle, which really leans to that wet effect on the skin. But I know that's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea. Okay, I have some face palettes from Unearthly. I love Unearthly, one of my favorite brands. I actually have a highlighter duo with the brand, but I'm not doing duos in this video. I feel like face duos is its own thing. I almost didn't even include trios, but I decided to do trios. So here we are, okay? Here is Dreamer. This highlighter palette is such a good one. I honestly love this. I love that Unearthly gave us these very like champagne-y, soft shades. They're really beautiful in the face. I love it. I mean, I told y'all, I collabed with Unearthly on my own collection, and it has a highlighter duo, so of course I love the formula. It's like, why am I going on and on? This is Surrender. This is a glowy blush palette. I don't think this one is available right now. Out of everything that I'm going to show you from Unearthly, I'm trying to think what's permanent. This one is still available, I believe, and Spring Magic. So let me show you. Surrender was their glowing blush palette, okay? It was part of a holiday Valentine's collection. I'm just going to move those out of the way. And then they didn't have this. I want to say this is 2 or 3 years old. And they brought out Spring Magic Incandescent Blush Palette this year. And this, I'm pretty sure this is permanent. And you have the same type of feel as you do over here. So I'm not mad at them for not having this. I wish they would, just because I do think trios are a nice option for people who don't want a big palette, but I understand every brand can't have everything always. So they brought us this. This is their glowy blush formula. Really, really pretty. I really like to use these as toppers, like on top of a blush, maybe like a matte cream blush or something like that to give like a glow. Really, really pretty though. And then, okay, these low light palettes, I'm like, there's a reason I have 2. One was a old version, then one was a new version. Dang it, I just gouged that. That's what I get to talking and not paying attention. This was the original low light. This was one of my first purchases from the brand, and then they kind of replaced one of the shades, just this one I think, and I bought it because I love this so much, because these look intense and scary in the pan. I get it. You may be thinking like, Heather, are you sure that's not an eyeshadow palette? It's not. These have a transparent base. Same with my highlighter duo. They have a transparent base, so they work on every skin tone. Honestly, they do. They don't leave a cast. And it was a little smaller when they did the updated version too, so not quite as big. This I keep with my face palettes. This is single blushes I just have in a magnetic palette. Unearthly actually has really beautiful magnetic palettes, but mine are all full, so that's why they're in this one that I got from Amazon maybe. I don't know, but Unearthly has really beautiful magnetic palettes. And I don't think they have these single blushes anymore, so I won't go on and on. This is their GlamLite highlighter palette. This was from their very first Halloween mystery box, I believe. And it had this, and it had some quads. Definitely check out my eyeshadow palette collection video because I show the quads there. It's hard to capture this in this lighting setup, but this is like a beautiful glowy blush topper. This one too, and then this is a really cool highlighter. I don't know why I'm swatching. It's not like you can get your hands on this one anymore, but like, do you see how that just has like not this harsh base to it, and it just diffuses well on the skin? Unearthly does highlighters so well. Hourglass palettes. Let's start with the only one that's not available anymore, I think. And that is this one right here. My Tiger palette. What's it actually called? Is it called the Tiger palette? I don't know. I don't think it says. Oh yeah, Ambient Unlocked Tiger. So this one, I mean, look how pretty it is. I love these baked formulas from Hourglass. There's a reason they do these palettes every year. I know it's not like an exciting release all the time because it's like, great, you're gonna do these every year. But if you love the powders and they do some shades that you're interested in, I think it's really, really a great value when you can get them all in a palette like this. This orange blush, don't play with me. Don't even try to play with me because it's so beautiful and it cannot be played with. It's stunning. The two palettes that I picked up this year. Okay, this is the Evil Eye palette, right? Yes, Evil Eye. And this one, can I get it open in this tin packaging? So pretty, and I love that Hourglass did new shades this year. They gave us actually some new shades, not just repeat shades. So I'm really happy with my purchase of this. I think these shades are really, really beautiful. I'm really looking forward to using this shade a lot, especially in the spring, I think. And then this is the Dragon palette, but it's not the Dragon palette that you just buy. I bought this from the Hourglass site because you could pick which shades you wanted inside. So this is, if you go in store like to Ulta or Sephora, I have the inside of the Lotus palette, which is the third palette, I think, in the Dragon packaging. But the Dragon packaging in store just comes with the lightest palette. I hope that makes sense, okay? So it's palette 3, the Lotus palette inside of the Dragon packaging. It's not that complicated. I don't know why I'm acting like it is, but it's beautiful. Anyways, moving on, Heather, moving on, Heather. These are, oh, actually, I said that this was not limited, but I think it might be. This is the Ambient Strobe Light. I'm gonna see. I feel like this is limited edition. Maybe it's not though. I hope it's not because this is beautiful. This is one of the prettiest highlighter palettes that I own, and not just palettes, but if these were singles, like, it's so beautiful. Like the metallic strobe formula, oh, so good. I hope that's not limited edition, but I kind of feel like it is. This is the Ambient Lighting Palette Volume 3. This is well loved. It's hard to see in these bake formulas because of the way the pans are. Like, you kind of hit like what they're baked on top of rather than pan. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, but I'm trying to move it so you can maybe see. I love this. This is such a gorgeous bronzer palette for me. I use this so often. I've taken this traveling with me. Very beautiful, glowy bronzers. Let's talk Adept Cosmetics, one of my favorite brands. Amy from Amy Loves Makeup, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite creators, favorite friends, did a collaboration with Adept Cosmetics. She has a beautiful eyeshadow palette, of course it's beautiful. I talked about it in my eyeshadow palette collection video, but she also collabed with them to make this stunning face palette. This is really, really beautiful, and it's very Amy, but I love that Amy made this to be inclusive of all skin tones. She has very fair skin, but I will link this down below because there's face swatches of this palette on her very fair skin and on very deep skin. And I'm somewhere in the middle. It works on me. It works on everybody. It's really beautiful. And it's very Amy. It's very Amy. It's very, very stunning. And I think that Amy and Adept did a great job on this palette. I love that we have a highlighter that's blinding if you want it to be, but you can definitely use just a little bit and get like that lit from within angelic ethereal glow. And then we have this one that gives you that wet cheek effect. You know, like we have two different formulas of highlighters. I love that. Like, I love that. Within this palette of 4 different shades, we have 3 different formulas. Like, that to me is quality, and I appreciate it. Good job, Amy. And these 2 blushes, beautiful, beautiful. I love mixing them together. I love wearing them on their own. I'll stop gushing because my friend is so talented. This is the Duality palette. This launched earlier this year. No, I'm posting this video 2025. This launched in the fall of 2024. There we go. I can get it together. First of all, I love this packaging. Like, look at how cool this is. I love that Adept mixes it up with their packaging too. Like, that's something really, really fun about indie brands, that they bring the creativity. They don't get dull, you know? I mean, not all indie brands, but the ones I love at least. So let me show you Duality. Look at this. It is so fun, and it's so different to Amy's palette, which I appreciate that so much. I love this right here. I love this kind of ombre blush. So we have the 6 shades, right? But really with this ombre, it's like you get 1, 2, 3 shades. So it's almost like you get 9 shades, and I love it. Okay, I love it. These are beautiful, more so as blush toppers, in my opinion. That's how I like to use them. That's how I feel like they look, like how I want them to look on me. I really love like putting down one of these and then going over top a little bit with this, skipping a highlighter and letting it be a blush topper. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense in my mind, but I think I just said a lot of words and I don't know if I got a thought across. Listen, I love it, okay? I have a video where I'm showing all of these on the cheeks, everything. Of course, I have a video on most of these things. I don't know if these 2 palettes are still available, but like, this is fun. This is creative. This is makeup for me. Like, makeup for me is about having fun and self-expression. This is Ketracel White, okay? Like, wow. Adept Cosmetics. Hit me up. Let's bring these back, okay? Let's bring these back. I want these shades back. I want these permanent to the line. We can do duos, we can do singles. Like, I would love this formula. I would love to create a custom shade. Like, this is stunning, right? And then you have these 2 shades. I have a whole video on this one too. I'm gonna stop saying I have a video on this because I have a video on so many of these things. But these cream formulas, I don't ever want to not have these in my collection. And they're just smooth. Use them on top of powder, over powder. I think I swatched that on top of something. That's like a favorite for me. And then this, use the shades individually if you want. I've definitely done that. Or use them all together. This on the face as a highlighter. Where can I put it? It's literally a rainbow. It's literally a rainbow. Are you kidding me? Do I have any clean fingers? Probably not, but it's not like it's a formal video. You can watch my video if you want to see it. Do you see it? Do you see it? I'm sorry. I got so excited. I'm just like incoherent babble. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Okay, let me wipe my fingers off. And then we have Rainbow Raider. This is cool, right? I keep this with my face palettes, but it could also be kept with my eyeshadow palettes. There's something about this trio that I really like mixing and putting on my face. And this as well. That's why it stays with my face palettes, because that's how I use it the most. But this is really, I think Adept calls it a multi-use palette, because it is. Like, you can use it however you want to. I just find myself, like, when I think of it, I want to use it on my face. So I keep it with my face palettes. These work well together. These, beautiful. Again, I have a whole video on this, and you can see, like, I dip my brush into some parts more than others, and it just, I don't know. To me, it's very, very fun. These 4 palettes, I don't think Adept makes these anymore, and I really wish they did. I may be wrong, and maybe they're just out of stock, so forgive me if I misspeak. I'll definitely have everything linked down below, my discount code with Adept, everything like that. But this is Valentina. So this one is more blush topper highlightery shades, and I think they did a really good job of making sure, like, there was something for all different skin tones. This one, what did I say? This one is Stella. That one of my favorites, okay? Because I really like that I had, like, deeper blush topper, this more peachy blush topper, and then a true, like, highlighter for myself. This is Ayana. This one also really beautiful. did not get used quite as much by me because it has more of this bronzer shade, but this could also double as a blush because it, I don't know, there's something about the undertone that kind of works for a blush. These two shades, stunning. And then we had Gianna. So Gianna was more of like very, very light type of bronzer. And then the two highlighters. Super duper beautiful. Again, this one was my favorite. I don't know if they still make these. If you have these, listen to me. Shop your stash, pull them out. I want you to use them tomorrow. Okay? I'm going to. Made by Mitchell curve cases. This blew up for Made by Mitchell, and I 100% understand why. Let's talk about the curve cases, okay? This is, oh, what shade is this one? Actually, I don't know. I think this is light. So there are two shades lighter than this one, I believe. I think there's light and then, yeah, two more below this one. You can see I got like a little spatula and I will custom mix my shade. That's what those kind of dips are. Sometimes I'll just go straight in with a brush, but I really like kind of mixing it up with the spatula. I don't know. These are beautiful, okay? They are beautiful, beautiful, pigmented, but easy to work with. This is the medium case, and then there is 2 or 3 darker than this one, I think. This you can see where my brush has hit, and what is so amazing about these curve cases is, one, they're fun, right? You can mix, you can match, you can make your own custom shade, and then 2, the inclusivity that should not be so revolutionary, right? Like, it shouldn't be so revolutionary to just like make products that work for everyone, but unfortunately it is. And Made by Mitchell was like, nah, I'm gonna make something for everyone. And really, the shade range, just stunning. I think Made by Mitchell killed it with this one, really did. I bought both of these because I really wanted to see, like, okay, can I float between, one for when I'm lighter, one for when I'm deeper? I mean, it works for me no matter what, but Olive friends, my olive fam, these olive undertones, like, oh, stop it. It is not always super easy. This one too light for me, but I use it as a mixing shade. Like, oh, you don't always see it in cream products the way Made by Mitchell did for us. Like, I don't need to swatch them all, but like, there's some good tones in here. And the blushes are great too. They really are. They do best for me when I do all my creams and liquids first and then my powder versus trying to put a powder on top of these creams. That is how I have found that they work best. But stunning. I do have oily skin too, so that's probably, I mean, no, that is definitely a factor into why I like to do my creams and liquids first. But I will say they are a product that you really want to be able to kind of like press and blend, and they're easy to work with. I prefer them underneath my powders. And then this is the Comet case. This was like highlighters. Same type of formula, really beautiful, just really fun, really, I don't know, unique and fun. I know that Made by Mitchell recently launched a second one with some more fun shades, and I have that on my list to buy. I literally just need to go online and buy it because these are stunning. Let me swatch that there. It's about time for me to go wash my hands, so I'm gonna be able to do some more swatches, but these are just super fun, super beautiful. I've got some really, really beautiful face palettes here from Lunar Beauty. Let's start with the newest one though. This is the Moonshroom Quad. I love this. This is one of my favorites of the year that launched in 2024 because it's just gorgeous. Like, it looks wet on your cheeks. It looks, I don't know, it looks like that glass skin type of effect. Of course, you don't wear a highlighter like that on your cheeks, right? Like, we don't just stripe it on, but just diffused with a brush, it's it's perfection. It's perfection, and I love this packaging. Lunar Beauty does over-the-top gorgeous packaging, so I love that. Let's look at this one. This one has been discontinued for so long, but it is like a prized possession of mine. I love it. It's gorgeous. I love all things myths, legends. I love this image of Medusa. Like, I love it all. This is from the Greek goddess collection. And these highlighters are beautiful. Like, I'm telling you, they're still beautiful. It's kind of hard to show you because of the metallic gold background, but I can't get enough of this. Like, I really love it. I love looking at it. It's so old, but I love it. It makes me so happy. I've got a couple of blush palettes here. The first one is the Moon Prism blush palette. This one, we've got that raised moon, like, stunning. And then opening it up, we have beautiful blushes. This right here, perfect for the Pantone color of the year. We've got these beautiful pinky shades and peach and the mauve and a glowy one. I think these are stunning. Lunar Beauty did liquid blushes in 2024 and they're so good, y'all. They're so good. But that's a beautiful blush. I love Lunar Beauty. Like, I love the brand. This is the Nude Prism blush palette. So again, it has that beautiful raised moon. We have these beautiful cherry blossoms. And then this one, we have like some more muted shades along with more poppy shades. Let me actually show it to you next to the Moon Prism. You can see like that the tones have some differences, you know, like we definitely have these two poppy shades here, and then we have those really muted kind of like golden tones here for I think that was the shade Zaya. And then let's look at this one. This is the Outer Dimension face palette. This one is really cool. I don't use this a ton. I just don't. I don't reach for it. And it's not because it's not good, because it's great. Like, these under eye powders are beautiful. They really are. And so are the bronzers. I don't know, like, it's just big. And so I don't pull it out of my collection a whole lot. But it really is a great palette. And then I have my Full Fantasy blush palette. This is a collaboration between Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Los Angeles. And we've got gorgeous shades. I really liked this whole collaboration. I thought that the eyeshadow palette that Manny and Laura did together was really beautiful and fun. And I could see, like, of course, only knowing them through social media, like I felt like I could see their personalities and their styles in the palette. And I feel the same way about this blush palette. Again, this would be a great blush color for the Pantone color of the year, right? Sandbar, this shade right here. Super pretty. And that will segue us into my couple of palettes that I have from Laura Lee Los Angeles. And we'll look at these. This is the Blush Aesthetic palette. Oh, this one's really pretty. I love this shade right here, Strawberry Ice Cream, but I love a good orange blush. I love these pinky peachy shades. And then I have Glazed. This is the Lit Kit highlighter palette. I don't know if this is still being made or not. I don't know. I really don't. But this is a cute palette. It's just big. Like, it's big. I've got a few palettes here from Martine Cosmetics. I really like this brand. I think they make really fun stuff. They didn't really launch any makeup collection last year, if I'm remembering right. I mean, I follow the brand, and I think maybe they released some lip products, but that's about it. So I don't know what's going on with the brand, but I really enjoy their stuff. This is from their Neon Nitro Speed collection, I believe. This face palette is really cool. I mean, we have a beautiful orange blush that's intense but still blendable. And then we have these different formulas down here that are almost more like blush topper-esque. They're pretty pigmented, whereas this is more of a beautiful topper sparkle type shade. These I definitely like over a blush instead of as a highlight on me, on my skin tone and my preference, whereas this is more of a true highlight. This is more of a true blush. Really beautiful. I hope they still make this one. I'm not sure. This is the Shark Zone highlighter palette. This was from a Halloween collection they did in 2023, I think, and I thought it was such a fun take on like a kind of Halloween collection. Maybe it wasn't Halloween, but it launched around that time, and it was like Jaws inspired. I think it's so cool, and the formulas in here are really beautiful too. Very, very easy to get a blinding glow, or you just use a little bit and get that ethereal glow. I love the embossings on the pan. They're in there really, really like really in there, so they're not rubbing away with just a few uses, you know, which I can appreciate. And then this was a part of their Mission X, Triple X collection, which was pretty cool. This highlighter palette is a little more on the like intense side. It's really beautiful on the skin, but I have to use a very light hand with it. It can be a little thicker to work with, but with a fluffy brush rather than a dense brush, it works really beautiful. And this was a super fun collection from the brand. I've got a couple of palettes here from BellaBeauteBar. So let's talk about their kind of newest face palette launch. This is the Face and Cheek palette, Baked Blush. And these are pretty shades. These are really, really pretty. I like that BellaBeauteBar gave us light shades and intense shades. And again, this color blush would be really pretty for Pantone's color of the year for 2025. So I'm definitely going to have to dip into that one. I think this is a pretty blush formula. I like this. I think BellaBeauteBar is just a brand that went from great to out of this world amazing, and they keep killing it. So I really like this, and I like that this is kind of a more compact palette. You can see it is a 6-pan blush palette, but it's not massive. Raise your hand in the comments if you've been here and been around for my love of the Oracle Chrome Highlighter palette. I actually bought a backup. I love it that much, y'all. I love it that much. I know you may be like, Heather, all this makeup, and you're sitting here saying you bought a backup of this. I did. I can't help it. Okay, so I have one that's fresh and new in case something ever happens to this. I don't have to spend a day without it. This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. Definitely, definitely so. The shades in here are so good, okay? This is like rainbow sparkles, okay? It's not rainbow sparkles, but it's like, I don't know, do you see that? And again, we don't wear our highlighters swatched on our face like that, so it's kind of hard to show you swatches of blushes and highlighters, but you can kind of get the effect. And then these shades kind of all look white, but they're really like this, I don't know, they have this like duochrome effect that's very transparent base on the skin, looks beautiful on everybody. I cannot pick a favorite shade. There's not a single dud in this palette. They killed it. Like, this is seriously underrated. I mean, I don't know, maybe a bestseller for BellaBeauteBar, but not enough people talk about it, okay? Until everybody in the world is talking about it, not enough people are talking about it. Oh, this is full of fingerprints. The downside of this kind of mirror type packaging. This is a Patrick Ta palette that launched 2023, I think, for holiday. This one has the two like formulas from Patrick Ta that are blushes that he does all the time, right? So the two powders and the two creams kind of set in duos. I like pink blush. I think it's fun. Then we had these kind of glittery eye toppers, face toppers, whatever. I thought this was a fun palette. It is really cool in this packaging. I don't know why he didn't keep this around longer. Let's look at some palettes from Sigma. This is really shiny, so let me kind of maybe move these away. This is their blush palette. This is their cheek blush palette. So I know they have this blush palette, and they have one, I think, Cor de Rosa. I'm not sure if they make these anymore, but I will link Sigma down below. I want to say that they do make this one still. So a lot of these are now available in singles, and I believe from the Cor de Rosa cheek palette is the same. So Tiger Lily, I know for sure, is a blush single, and so is Cor de Rosa. I don't know about the other ones. I do have the singles. I still really like palettes like this though. I really do. I like mixing and matching things. I think these two shades again would be really pretty with that Pantone color of the year, and I do love Sigma. This is their Beauty and the Beast trio. So for Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland, Sigma did duos. And then Beauty and the Beast, we got a trio. And then for this year's collection, Little Mermaid, which I ordered on launch day because I'm like, I cannot be without that. They did singles. But I really like a face trio. So beautiful packaging. I keep the insert because it's so luxe. Look at the embossings in the pan. I'm like, when I take my brush, I try to like dip around the edges and be so careful. I really love that we have different formulas in this palette. This blush has like a little bit of a something to it, like a little bit of a glow. This one much more glowy, could even be like a blush topper. And then we have a highlighter, and I think that they really did a great job with this one. I mean, Sigma, their products are really good. Like they're a favorite brand for me. This is the Glow Kissed palette. This is another one that I don't know if they make this anymore because they're moving kind of to singles, but I love to mix and match. Like there's just something so fun to me about dipping my brush in like multiple shades, multiple pans, and just doing my own custom color. But I think all of these are available as singles now. Maybe not all of them. Sizzle, Twilight, I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly, but if you don't love face palettes like I do, definitely look at Sigma singles, but I think you get a lot of bang for your buck in their palettes. And I believe at the time that I'm posting this, they're still having their sale, their semi-annual sale maybe. I don't know. Listen, I put it on the description box, and I know that Sigma is usually a brand that will allow you to stack codes as well, which is always super nice. And then this is the Sculpt palette. This is a highlight and contour palette. This one, I think this is cool. I just like base palettes. These are kind of cool toned shades down here, a little too cool toned for what I typically go for. But let me show you, like this shade is really what keeps this palette around for me. It's got this kind of like, I don't know, kind of murky undertone to it that I like. I don't know. When I don't want to like bronze, I can use that shade because it's kind of like in that neutral realm. These are pretty, but they're not smooth and impactful like Sigma's other highlighters are. They're a little more simple. So if you don't like something that's like intense, you may like these, because when I swatch it like this, yeah, it looks kind of intense, but it shears out really, really easily. Here is a old palette, but it makes me happy to have this in my collection because I actually got this as a Christmas gift from my son and my husband because I wanted this so bad. This is before Made by Mitchell had his own brand, and they collaborated with Be Perfect for the Sub-Zero highlight collection. And I love this thing. I still love it. I don't use it anymore. It's quite old. And you may be thinking like, it looks brand new. Listen, a tiny, tiny, tiny bit goes a long way with this palette. I love it. I love it. It's so fun. It's such good memory for me too. And then I have the Celestial Lights palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is their only face palette. I'm trying to think. They have lips, and yeah, we don't have like a face palette like this. This is the only one from the brand. This was really intense. I like this more as eyeshadows, and I need to move this like out of my face palette collection because for me these are too intense on the face, but I do think they're really pretty for like inner corner highlights and on the eyes. I don't use it on my face, so I'm actually glad that I pulled this out so I can stick it with my eyeshadow palettes. If anybody watching still has their Becca Jaclyn Hill face palette, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. I keep this for the sentimental reasons. Like, I love this thing. I remember when this launched and I like had an alarm set and I ran to the website to buy it really quick because I could not miss it. Absolutely stunning. Gone but never forgotten. You know what I mean? Gone but never forgotten. Let's look at this Cosmic Beauty Frosting Highlighter Trio. I always want to say Cosmic Brushes, but they are Cosmic Beauty now. Beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palettes. Y'all know I love them. If you're new here, hi, my name is Heather and I love Cosmic Beauty. This highlighter palette is really good from the brand too. It's pretty intense. It's shifty highlighters, really, really beautiful. Like, really kind of like smooth, but give you that wet effect. Fun shades in here, like golden apple, of course you can see is that golden kind of yellowy white. Then we have the more pinky red, and then this is like a blue purple type color. It's really cool. Like, listen, if you want to have some fun with your makeup, try a fun color highlighter. It's fun, okay? Like, don't take yourself too seriously. Have a little fun with makeup. This is the Hindash. What is he called? What does Hindash call these? Beaute Pressed Pigment Palette. So this is the first one. I actually bought this one when this one launched. Like, I bought them together because I'm like, okay, I heard Teresa's dad rave about the Hindash palette for so long. I'm like, fine. Just, I'll buy it, okay, Teresa? I will buy it. And I think this is a cool concept, okay? I think it is a cool concept. So this is the first one. Let me open up this one over here, and you can see this was the second one. So I think this one was a little better in concept because all of these are shades you can use on the eyes and the face, right? Like, maybe not every person can use every shade or would choose to use every shade, but for the most part, they could all be used on the eyes and face. Where we get over here, these are just eye shades, right? Typically. And they're not pigmented enough. A sheer formula is great when you're working with blushes and powders and things like that, but it didn't translate as well over here. I thought this was good. It felt like a nice, luxurious formula. I didn't buy the last release, the highlighters. I really would like to see the brand do some more things because I feel like there's a vision, a concept, something fun. But I wasn't tempted enough by the highlighters, okay? That's all I'll say about that. And then let's look at my Natasha Denona collection. I do have some singles from Natasha Denona. I have some duos. And I have some eyeshadow palettes that have face shades with them, like eye and face palettes. I didn't pull those because I'm pretty sure I showed those in my eyeshadow palette collection video. So let's just kind of look at what we have here. We'll start with our quads. This is the Love Glow Cheek Palette. And I'm sorry, I love the over-the-top packaging. Like, I'm here for it. The more, the better. Like, more is more. Give me all the over-the-topness. This is the Bronze Cheek Face Glow Palette. We'll just kind of open these together. Let's see. So these are so old. And these creams, like, that's pan. Do you see? I hit pan. I don't need to use these. Like, these are so old. I'm sure it's unsanitary. And I don't use them. And I should probably get rid of them. But I don't want to. I don't know, like, I like having, like, this one maybe not as much, but this one, like, this packaging makes me so happy. I know they're so old. I don't use them, but they make me happy. And you know what? I'm not getting rid of stuff just to say I get rid of stuff, you know? So this isn't a declutter anyway. It's a collection video. I don't know why I'm explaining it. I'm not decluttering it. Just know I'm not using old stuff on my face. This is the My Dream Cheek Trio Blush and Highlighter Palette. Beautiful. I really love this one. This glow cream base. Stop. Natasha Denona. I love this. The Berry Pop Cheek Trio. I really love this. I think the formulas in here are amazing. Another one of that glow cream base that you can, like, cream blush, then this, then that. Like, it just works so well together. Natasha Denona, visionary. I love. This is the Golden Highlighter Trio. This is another favorite of the year for me because the formulas in here are stunning. I have a whole video on the Golden collection because everything about it, like, I love. I've got a couple of palettes from Oden's Eye. I'm not sure if they make these anymore. I loved these. I really did. I can't remember which one of these I bought. I think Alva 2. Maybe both of these. I don't remember, but I've been a fan of Oden's Eye for so long. I can't remember if I bought both of these or maybe the brand sent me one and I bought one. I don't remember. It doesn't matter, but I loved these. I really like Oden's Eye as a brand. I think they make amazing stuff. I know that they've transitioned to singles now, but these may be available on the site still. I will, of course, link it down below, but I have tons of Oden's Eye videos on all of their singles. All of them. I think I even have them all on the face, actually. This is the Alva 2 highlighter palette. This one was really fun for me because it has the different formulas in here. Like, it has this one that's really sparkly and kind of like ethereal. Then it had these like more standard highlighter formulas, and then it had this one that was a little more like intense. I don't know. I thought these from Oden's Eye were super duper fun. I thought I would show you maybe some of my singles that I have in these magnetic pans. I just have a lot of stickers on this one. This empty magnetic palette is from Adept. Let me show you the singles. These are from Cosmetics. The embossing in the pan is like a crystal ball. Let me give you a couple of swatches. Let me see if I can show you without blinding you. Maybe these. And these are really cool. Cosmetics makes some really cool stuff. Like, look at that. And you can use these on the eyes too. Well, technically, I don't know if they're considered eye safe, but you know, the FDA and all of that, they're a little bit behind. So do what you're supposed to do. But for me, I use them kind of all over. I really love those. And the other I have in the magnetic palette, again, this is the empty magnetic palette from Adept. These are cream blushes from Half Magic. So Half Magic, they come in this like component that's like paper cardboard-esque, and you can leave them in there, but I was so annoyed. They're magnetic and they're meant to go in a palette. So Half Magic sells their own like magnetic palette, which is really cool, but I have this one from Adept, so I use that. I've bought so many of these magnetic palettes from Adept because I love stacking them. But again, we have those kind of brown blushes that are super on trend right now, and I like the formula. It's kind of like a putty-like formula. The reason I love these so much from Adept and why I keep buying them is because they magnet together and they stick together. This isn't about empty palettes, but you know, I can't help myself but to show you. Let's look at my GlamLite collection. I have a bunch of duos from GlamLite, but I just pulled anything that was more than a duo. So this is the Michaela Pot 2 highlighter trio. These are beautiful, blinding, sparkling highlighters. I don't think it's available anymore, but super beautiful. This I love. Okay, this I love. I'll never be able to get enough of this. I love the packaging. I love the Scooby-Doo theme. I loved everything about the collection. And these highlighters, oh, I could eat them. I could eat them. They're so yummy. I love that we have two different formulas in this massive pan. I'm like running out of swatch space, but good grief, they're beautiful on the face, on my face, on your face, on everybody's face that I've ever seen it on. They're so beautiful. This is the California Fresh. This is from the Fresh Prince collab. So pretty, right? So pretty. GlamLite, some of these I bought myself, some of these were sent to me. The Scooby-Doo I purchased myself. The Michaela I purchased myself. GlamLite Fresh Prince was given to me. This is really beautiful. Really intense, wet looking effect. Like, if you want a summer glow, this is it for you. This is the Garfield Lasagna palette. This one's really great. These blushes are pigmented. So if you have deep skin and you're looking for a good blush that's in these beautiful shades, like, this is a great palette. This highlighter is really beautiful. It has this kind of like green shift to it. The Nightmare on Elm Street Chest of Souls. I don't remember what. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street's the name of the movie. Yeah, right? Yes, the guy with the claws. Okay, beautiful, beautiful blush palette. And then Rick and Morty highlighter trio. I've never seen the show, but I do really like this highlighter trio. The palette, top tier from GlamLite, and these highlighters are beautiful. We've got several different formulas in here, which is something that I like that GlamLite does. They don't just put like one formula in their highlighter trios usually. It's usually a mixture of several different ones, which I think does make it more special. This is an empty magnetic palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. I really like their magnetic palettes. I've bought several of their designs. I don't know if they have this specific design anymore, but I know they always have a couple of selections of different cool artwork for their magnetic palettes. And inside here, I have a few singles from Lethal. These are not all from the collaboration with Teresa is Dead, but I think most of them are. I may have a couple of extra ones, but highlighters and blushes right up there. I love, love, love the formula from Lethal. I think they do a really, really great job with their highlighters and blushes. I have 2 highlighter palettes from Kylie. These are also so old. I don't use these, but these bring back good makeup memories for me. This is just a pressed illuminator, I think. Yeah, they just have different names. So these are cream highlighters. They're Super Shock-esque, but they're a bit more creamy than the Super Shocks, and I do think they give kind of a different effect on the skin. And this is the wet set. This is one of the holiday sets. And I mean, you can tell like in both of these palettes that I've like dipped in the pan. I use these. I love these. And I don't know, like, it just makes me happy to remember these. Even though they're so old, I don't need to use them anymore. This is Il Makiage and Carly Bible. Back before Carly Bible had her own brand, she collabed with Il Makiage and they did face palettes. So how pretty is that? And it wasn't just one face palette, there were 3, which I'm pretty sure, right? There were 3. I know there was more than just one, but I think that's really cool because we don't see that a lot with creator collabs. So we had like a bronzer, this like, I think this was supposed to be like a glowy bronzer, but it was more like a highlighter and a blush. Really, I mean, it was cute. It's very Carly and it's very over the top. And her collab is the only Il Makiage product I own. Okay, I've got some trios here from One Size. So I have my bronzer trio. I didn't know if I should include these because I'm like, are they a face palette? But you know what? They have 3 and I want to play in makeup, so why not? I really like that. That one's, the One Size bronzers are pigmented, FYI, okay? But I love. This is, let me make sure I tell you the shades. This is Firestarter from One Size. So these kind of trios that One Size does, the bronzer, it's all powder. These are cream blush, powder blush, and then like a blush topper or a glowy blush, whatever you prefer to call it. And then I have Attention Seeker. So kind of same format, the cream, the powder, and then the glow on top. And this one is the deeper pink. This is Girly Pop. And yeah, I bought both of these. I was so excited when One Size did the pinky shades. I was like, oh, give it to me. I gotta have it. And this one, the orange one, is actually like when they first launched these, I bought that one because I'm like, I have to try this formula because I really like One Size as a brand. I've got some things from Pat McGrath, and I don't think any of these are available anymore, but a lot of the shades inside are permanent. So we can look at these, and if it's something that you're like, oh my gosh, I need that shade, it may be a permanent shade. Let's see. This is one of her cheek palettes. So we have 4 different blushes and highlighter in here. I will tag the single shades if I can. We'll see. We'll see if I'm able to do that. This one is actually called the Divine Blush Cheek and Glow Nude Venus palette. And then I have another one that launched with that. I was so excited about these. I thought this was really a great value for everything you get. This is the Divine Blush and Glow in Divine Rose. So I love this shade. I love this shade. Let me not blind you with the shiny background. I think Pat McGrath makes beautiful blush and highlighter formulas. I really do. This is one of the Bridgerton trios, and then I also have this trio. But if you have any singles from Pat McGrath and you see her release face palettes, double check, because a lot of times they're not exclusive shades. They are just repeated shades put in there, and sometimes like one will be an exclusive shade. Just FYI, in case you didn't know. So this was the Bridgerton face trio. This one right here is, what is it called? Amber Allure. Amber Allure. And I will buy blushes and highlighters from Pat McGrath all day long. I really will. I think like she has a great formula. And then this one is the Sublime Skin Highlighting Trio. This is one of the first launches from Pat McGrath. And oh, I think this was yeah, I bought this before I had her blushes or anything, because just wait. I think this is still on this Sephora site, but it's always sold out. So I don't know if this is ever gonna like be a thing again. I don't know. If I can find it, I will link it, of course. But these beautiful kind of baked domed highlighters, the white to yellow gold, the white to kind of pinky purple, and then the beautiful bronzy color. I love it. Like, I can't get enough of it. Okay, I've got some NARS palettes here. All of these are limited edition, I believe, but the shades inside are permanent. So this was the NARS Rising Star Cheek palette. I really liked this. I don't think this got a lot of positive reviews. One, it's kind of hard to open, but two, these are pressed so firmly in the pan, or maybe it's just this kind of formula. They're not super pigmented. You really have to use like a duo fiber brush, something like that, if you want to get a lot of blush. I really liked it because, one, I used this a ton and I didn't ruin the beautiful star embossing, and two, I could layer it. Like, I could go in with a heavy hand, not really thinking about it, and get a light wash of blush, and then just add a little bit more if I wanted to. I really liked that. I really liked that. And I think a lot of people just wanted more pigment right off the bat, but I thought this was a great release from NARS. This is a trio. This has some of their like best-selling shades. This is not the reformulation, any of these, but I have tried that. They're reformulated singles, so I really like it too. But of course, like, I'm not getting rid of these beautiful powder blushes just because they're the old formula. Like, not doing it, not gonna do it. This quad though, this should be a permanent quad. It really should, because you get beautiful shades in here. This was their Basic Instincts 2, Torrid, Savage, Exhibit A, and Taj Mahal, which I believe are all permanent to NARS, right? I think those are all permanent shades, and I love them. Like, this selection of colors together is just so great because they're beautiful all on their own, but they also all work together. And you know, what's better than that? What's better than working together? I don't know. I have a trio from Cover FX. This, I think they still make this custom enhancer palette. I bought this when it launched from Cover FX. They had not released anything new in a long time, and I was super excited, and it's great. Like, it's great. It's going to give you a beautiful blinding highlighter. Cover FX did a good job on that one. Last but not least, I've got another indie brand. This is Lunatic Cosmetics Labs. I have not heard of them doing anything for a long time, so I don't know what, like, if they're still around. I really don't know. I need to look at that, and I will when I link everything for y'all. I'll be checking all these sites out. But this is the Here Lies Your Face. May your makeup forever rest in place. I think that's so cute. Like, I love a good pun. These are beautiful. These are very simple highlighters in that when you swatch them, you're not wowed, but they look so pretty when you put them on. Like, very lit from within type of glow. Really gorgeous. And then I've got these two face palettes. What are they called? I don't know. I believe it's like volume 1 and volume 2. So this is volume 1, I believe, the contour palette. And this is very cool toned, okay? Like, these shades don't work on my face. They work on the eyes. They're magnetic pans. They're removable. Of course, the blushes I can use, yeah. But and the under eye brightening powders, but I can't use those cool tone contours. And this is Contour 2. This one I like more because I think it's a little more fun. This is a little too red in tone for me, even though it is warmer. Again, this is just better on the eyes for me, but I do like these blushes, and this under the eyes is a nice powder. So I like these. I like the packaging. I don't use these a ton, but I do really like this one. I do really, really, really like this one. I so hope that I did not miss any of my face palettes. I'm gonna cry if I did, and then I'll tell myself to stop being dramatic, but I feel like I have gone through my whole collection and pulled things, and I don't feel like I forgot everything. I don't feel like I forgot anything. We'll see. We'll see. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed playing in makeup as much as I did. I just love going through my collection, pulling stuff out, showing it some love, talking about it, looking at it. It just makes me so happy. Like, makeup makes me so happy. I hope y'all enjoyed too, and if you did, I'm gonna pop up some other collection videos here for you to check out, because I am always talking about makeup, reviewing makeup, new makeup, old makeup, everything. So I would love it if you would stick around and talk makeup with me.